So this is my pitch for The Great Fleece, which is a game uh, made by me, which is a stealth action game. Start off as Darren as the protagonist, who enters an auction house and is dropped in with instructions by his partner to a earpiece and explains the whole scenario of the game and is has to avoid security cameras and security guards to steal items in the museum itself, as you can see, and would have to secure a card that can help him escape the museum with distraction tactics that he can use and escape as fast as possible. So this kind of game, this stealth genre has been ever imploding and improving over the years, where the first has been rectified and has been started by Castle Wolfenstein in 1981, where he had to dress up as a Nazi and avoid people. And on the second game, you had to disguise and try to avoid people. Where there later on, it's been improved and has been well known by the Metal Gear series, which has been made by Hideo Kojima. And then next is the Thief, where it kind of takes a different approach of using lighting and kind of the darkness where you have to avoid enemies. And the next one is Ten Shoes, where it's the kind of the same progress of Thief but in feudal Japan. And this has also increased more games that have also grown to the market, where Metal Gear Solid has gone, which has become the biggest franchise in this genre. And there are many more games like Hitman, uh, which has been ever increasing, and the Splinter Cell series, and Assassin's Creed games, Dishonored and Deathloop, which is a new game based on teleportation, and this stealth gaming, like just like Dishonored series. And it's been ever increasing with the franchise, with many famous franchises like Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear, and the Splinter Cell. And so, what is this kind of motivation for the great bass player to play in this game? It is mainly to have to avoid enemies and try different situations and distracting them and kind of eliminating them, or kind of like uh, kicking them out, and so that they can escape and try to infiltrate the situation as fast as possible, and which can be given by certain takedowns and certain kinds of situations where the player can do whatever he wants. And this has been surrounded by in action adventure games, where there is kind of stealth segment, small stealth segment that you have to use, where you have to take out the enemies, and which has been over cliched and kind of like which doesn't need to be in action adventure games, but you can use it unless it is actually needed in some kinds of areas, where in Deus Ex this kind of thing has been really good, and using future technologies to kind of have stealth. And the same with Ghost of Tsushima, which is again in feudal Japan, and using the ghost mode to avoid your enemies. And Dishonored has taken a different approach with using superpowers like teleportation to attack the enemy. And this is and my solution to what makes them better than the competition is making the view of cinematographic view of the games, that you can surround yourself and you can use certain items to distract and put down enemies, and making the players replay the game again and again so that they can find new ways and make better tactics, better than the first time, so that the game keeps on going and it can keep on being played by players to keep the relevancy more and more. and then giving mechanics that can be integral to the part of the game where it can be difficult for players to get used to it, but they can improve much more. And then every time there is a difficulty increase to how people can play. So no levels, no two levels are the same. And then the choice of going full stealth and action on the others can be a daunting situation, but that can give player a bit of a more free form of choice. And then the early adopters are that can be very good on this for who would want to play this game are people who are already well known and rehearsed on the stealth game genre, which would want to try out new ways and try to have different ideas come up with in the stealth genre and kind of giving different kinds of modes to a tryout. And then there is the other half who are complete beginners but want to that would want the stealth genre but would not want to start off with the replayability but want to play the story for the twist and for the shock value in the game. And then the way we would want to make money is we would want that cost for developing the game and implementing more story modes and kind of characters and DLC to improve and expand the game. And so people will have the length would be the duration and the length of the game would be more to continue, just like how GTA has been for almost 7 years. Just like that, we want to keep the game going and until like the next until the next game comes in with kind of like a better graphical visual and what is that, new characters that they can come up with. And then there is the income people where most of the income would be buying the games and having uh, the customers buying the daily added bonuses for replayability and the DLC to extend the story further and get more players to be involved in the game. And yeah, that's my pitch. And thank you.